What if I told you that in 1933, a group of some of the richest and most powerful men in America tried to overthrow the US government? Not in a movie, not in a novel, but in real life. It was a plan to replace the President of the United States with a military dictator, to stop the New Deal, to save capitalism by destroying democracy. And the most chilling part, the plot was exposed, confirmed, and then buried. This is the forgotten story of the business plot, an attempted coup by American businessmen against President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. A secret that history almost erased, until one man dared to speak. You're watching Hidden in History, where shadows still speak. The year is 1933. The Great Depression has gripped the United States in a stranglehold. Banks have collapsed. Families are starving. Millions are jobless. The American people are losing faith, not just in Wall Street, but in democracy itself. Into this chaos steps a bold new president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. With his New Deal, he promises change, radical, sweeping change. Relief for the poor, regulation for the markets, power pulled from the boardrooms and handed to the people. To ordinary Americans, Roosevelt is a lifeline. To America's wealthiest elite, he's a threat to everything they control. Wealth, influence, the old order. So they begin to whisper, then they start to plan. They weren't fringe radicals. They were the pillars of American industry. Men connected to J.P. Morgan, DuPont, Goodyear, and some of the most powerful financial houses in New York. Together, they form a shadowy alliance. Alarmed by Roosevelt's reforms, terrified of socialism, and inspired by the rising fascist regimes in Europe. They believe the president is too powerful, that democracy is too slow, that what America really needs is a man on horseback, a military figure, a national savior who can sweep away the chaos and restore control, their control, and they think they've found him. His name was Major General Smedley Butler, one of the most decorated Marines in US history, two-time Medal of Honor recipient, fierce, respected, and, crucially, beloved by the rank-and-file soldiers and veterans. To the plotters, Butler is perfect. He's a war hero. He commands loyalty, and he hates Wall Street elites. They believe they can manipulate him, use his reputation to rally veterans and take over the government by force. So they send a representative to approach him in secret. And what they offer is nothing less than treason, command of an army of 500,000 veterans, financial backing from the wealthiest names in America, the power to protect the White House from Roosevelt, and then take control. But Smedley Butler doesn't bite. Instead, he listens, he nods, he gathers evidence. And then, he blows the whole thing open. In 1934, Butler testifies before the McCormick-Dickstein Committee, a congressional investigation into anti-government activity. There, under oath, he reveals everything. The names, the meetings, the money. He lays out a plan to install a fascist dictatorship in the United States, not by foreign powers, but by some of its most trusted industrialists. And the committee believes him. They confirm key parts of his story. They investigate the individuals involved. They take it seriously, and then they let it go. No arrests, no trials, no headlines. The names of the businessmen are quietly removed from the final report. The press treats it as a strange footnote. Most Americans never hear a word. Why? Because the people involved were too powerful, because the economy was too fragile, and because the truth that democracy had come inches from collapse was simply too dangerous to broadcast. Smedley Butler fades into history. The plot is buried, and the lesson is lost. Today we talk about the strength of our institutions. We believe democracy is untouchable. We imagine that threats come from the outside, from foreign enemies or radical fringe groups. But this story reminds us of something darker. That sometimes the greatest threat to freedom comes from within, from the hands of those already in power, from people who smile, fund campaigns, and sign checks. But whisper about replacing ballots with bullets when the world doesn't go their way. Smedley Butler once said, "War is a racket, but maybe power is too. And sometimes all it takes to unravel a nation is a conference room, a briefcase full of money, and the right man saying yes." But this time, he said no. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. This will help us to create more videos.